What's up, you all? Welcome back to another fun-filled show. Um, Today's title is Robert Brooks, Eric Lurry, and the Wages of Sin. When it comes to issues of police brutality, police misconduct, or misconduct in the correctional facilities, um, the issue isn't these people being labeled as doing something that's wrong. The issue is you all saying that these people are racist and a part of America being racist. That is my issue with the whole narrative. The problem is that the police brutality narrative, the corrupt judicial system, and the corrupt correctional facilities, all these things really are appetizers to a larger meal, which is this propaganda behind America being racist. And so you can't even take an incident and it be an incident by itself. It has to always feed into a larger problem. We can agree that there are corrupt people in every field of life. There are corrupt firefighters, there are corrupt police officers, there are corrupt male men and women, there are corrupt teachers, there are corrupt people that work at Subway. There are corrupt people that work at Popeyes. There are corrupt people in every single field on this planet. You will have corruption. You will have people that choose to break the rules. You will have people that choose to abuse their power. This is humanity. But what they've done is they've reduced all of that and they've placed the burden of that on white people. That's my issue. If you tell me that the police officers that were involved in Robert Brooks' case were wrong, or in this case, these were correctional officers, were wrong in Robert Brooks' case, I would say I agree. I can't argue. But when you tell me that this right here speaks to a larger problem, that's when I say no. So the issue isn't whether these folks are wrong or not. The issue is you all saying that this is what America is. That's my issue. Somebody even mentioned in the comments, you even have corrupt pastors. You have corruption in every field. So my question is, if corruption is as normal as it is to breathe air, then why is it only one group of people get hit with the burden of being corrupt? If we can agree that there's corruption in every field, then why are we singling out one group of people to say that they're wrong? Why are we doing it? Do y'all realize that I haven't gotten any new followers in going on 4 years? Just think about that for a second. Why not? Even if I'm lying, what difference would it make? Like, if I'm lying, what difference would it make if I was lying? Why is it that the stuff I says makes these machines say, we don't want people to follow you or watch you? We want to suppress your account. I had a friend of mine for years. And this person was my friend for almost close to at least 17 years. Now imagine a person that doesn't want to be friends with me after 17 years, and we never had a fight, we never had an argument. Think about that. What would make this person stop being my friend? You'll find in the Black community, Black people are very conditional. Black people are extremely, meaning that you're not going to find many Black folks that say you're going to be my friend because you're my friend. No, Black folks are very conditional. This is a cultural byproduct. Black folks aren't known for being humanitarians and being selfless and charity. I ain't no Black folks known for that. Black folks have very conditional relationships, very conditional. We see it with parents and children. We see it in the community. We see it's very conditional. But this person was a friend of mine for 17 years. And when someone asked them, well, they were talking with somebody that we both know, and they asked him about me, and he says, "Oh, I don't talk to him anymore." And the person looked at him and said, "What'd you do?" Because the person told me his face looked guilty. Now I know why he doesn't speak to me anymore. Because it's easier to be black if you don't want to talk about the truth. It's easy to be like, listen, if you're willing to just lie and live a lie, it's easy to be black. You can be black and have your best time of your life. But the moment you start speaking truth, you're not gonna be able to be black, because you're pretty much going to offend most black people telling the truth. And so I get it. He doesn't want to have to go around these people and all of them are saying, we don't like Blanche. Blanche is a sellout. White folks are paying him. Whatever they want to say, all these conspiracy theories, whatever they want to say. It's funny, when it comes to me, they can see the conspiracy theory, but when it came to them shots, they didn't see nothing. Isn't it funny how when it comes to me, they got all the intricate plots and plans laid out, but when it came to them shots, they just lined up and got the shot. I don't listen to black people. I don't. But anyway, it's easier for this person to be able to go around these people and have some peace, rather than him going around on people and constantly getting a question about why you're friends with him. Even though the people that he's around are low-life degenerates, low character individual, low vibration individual, even though he'll even admit this, even though they're low character, low vibration individuals, he'll still rather appease the mob than to be a friend. And this is the dangers of liberalism and democracy, because it's mob rule. It's not about what's right. It's about what the majority says. This is why liberalism is dangerous. This is why democracy is dangerous, because it's not about right or wrong. It's about what do the majority of people want. And if the majority of people have already been programmed and propagandized, you in trouble. Martin Town said, I at you on Instagram and Instagram stopped me from commenting on posts. Official claim is I was spamming, which is a lie. I like showing you the obligativities. I love that. Obligativities on there, censorship. So again, Martin Towns added me in a post, and look what it did to him. Now he can't comment on posts. So you got to ask yourself a question. Think about everything on social media and then ask yourself, what am I saying that's worse than what they're doing on social media? There's pornography on Twitter. There's decadence and death and destruction on Instagram and Twitter, showing people dying, getting killed, showing the most egregious things on social media. So my question is, how are these folks able to maintain their accounts, but I'm getting censored? People can't think about what I'm telling you. Think about what I'm telling you. So clearly what I'm saying is rubbing social media the wrong way. And we already know that Mark Zuckerberg admitted that the Biden administration came to him, and if they came to him, they went to YouTube, they went to Google. So we already know that the Biden administration went to all these social media platforms and told them to censor people, told them to demonetize. Think about what this is communism. Think about what this is communism. And not one black person that told me it's wrong. Not y'all. But not one black person that are my critics, that are my detractors, not one of these people have said, you know what, that's wrong. You know why? Because they agree with it. They agree with it. They're telling you that Trump's going to be a dictator, but they agree with Biden censoring people's content. When Twitter removed Trump from his platform, black folks celebrated. And I say, do you know what that means? If they can take Trump off of Twitter, they can come in your house and snatch your kids away. If they can remove Donald Trump from Twitter with no consequence, they can come in your house and take your children away. Because what you all don't understand is once they start taking away your freedom of speech, the next step is your right to live. So this person asked this person, why aren't y'all cool anymore? And instead of him just being honest, I don't like his views. I want to be able to go around the bliggities in peace. Instead of him just saying that, which we all could respect, he says, ask him. I'm going to tell the truth. So again, everything that Black people are celebrating, everything that Black people are raising their fists in the air about are the very things they're going to use on the entire population of the world. It's human enslavement. And y'all don't get it yet. Y'all don't get it. All of this stuff is a smokescreen. All of this racism, I'm telling you, the end goal of this is to get the average person to say, okay, I'll give you my rights to protect me. That's the goal. So we give up rights to get protection. We give up rights to have a peaceful life. We give up rights to be safer. That's all they're going to do. You're going to give up your freedoms in the name of everybody living peacefully. We are not meant to live with each other. We're not meant to live like that. If I have views that oppose your views, then guess what? I'll stay over here, you stay over there. It's simple. It's enough land for groups to have their own situation going on. But to think that we can just be around these people and it not cost, it's going to cost. Do you think if a global leader said, give up your rights so that the planet doesn't get destroyed by climate change, you think Black folks are going to be against that? Think about the number one group in the world that believes they are oppressed. Think about a group of people that live in a first world country. A group of people that live in a first world country and have somewhere to stay and have a job and have a life and a social life. Think about that group of people believing they are oppressed. The dangers of Black folks being oppressed is you make oppression look like something that it's not. So now you think, now the average person thinks, oh, so oppression is I can have a job, I can have a career, I can have a house, and I can still be oppressed. So now, guess what? Now everybody's going to be, okay, you know what? I'll give up some of my rights so they aren't oppressed. Martin Towns, I at you on Instagram, and Instagram stopped me from commenting on posts. Official claim is I was spamming, which is a lie. I like showing you the obligativities on there, censorship. I shared a video on my stories with Bevelin. What's Bevelin's last name? You know, Bevelin got 4 years in federal prison for, they said she was obstructing the abortion clinic. She said she was praying. Regardless, how do you tell me that you're going to suppress my content because of what she said? If she believes that's why she's in prison, whether the verdict is or what it is or not, it doesn't matter. That's her opinion. So now you're telling me that I can't have an opinion, which is communism. The Winning Walk with Christina says skin color isn't the biggest idol. The illusion of oppression is far worse. It is, because the illusion of oppression is going to get you all to acquiesce your actual rights and freedoms, because you're going to believe that you're oppressed. So now when you're giving up certain rights, it doesn't seem as bad because you still got a car, you still got a house, you still got a social life. So now when you're giving up freedom, it doesn't seem as bad until one day you wake up and it's all gone. During the Peter pandemic in California, the landlords couldn't charge people rent. Think about that. The government stepped in and said, you know what? Y'all can't charge people rent. It's a Peter pandemic. So again, back to my original point, the issue isn't people being corrupt. If that was the case, no one would care because there's corruption everywhere. The issue is you are putting the responsibility of everything moral onto white people, and at the same time, you all say they're the worst on the planet. Y'all literally expect white folks to be perfect and then condemn them for not being perfect. You all don't care if black folks cut up. You don't care if Hispanics cut up. You don't care if Asians cut up. You don't care if immigrants cut up. You care if white folks cut up. So now what you've done is, and it's really a dehumanizing process. You dehumanize white people because on one hand, you make them a god. On the other hand, you make them the devil. Either one is not human. So now you have unrealistic expectations of white people. And then you turn around and have the lowest expectations of white people. And when I say white people, we're talking about conservative, Christian, patriotic white people. Black folks love white liberals. So we're not talking about, when I say those are wiggities, when I'm talking about white people, I'm specific. White people are the ones that care about America, care about God, family, and country. That's white people, not somebody with purple and green hair. It's not a white person. That is really a hybrid. That is a Caucasian person with the mind of a woke bliggity. It's not the same thing as a white person. If you don't believe me, a wiggity could not exist in 1776. Imagine a white person, a liberal white person today, trying to live in 1776. They will be getting hung at the stake. They be getting slaughtered. Imagine the mindset of a white person, liberal today, and put them back in time in 1776 when America's fighting for freedom, and those same liberals are working with the English. But let's continue. My bad. Bevelyn Beatty Williams. I'm sorry. Bevelyn. I couldn't think of her name. Thank you, though. I'll share the video on her of her saying why she got locked up, and they didn't got my account shut down. But the funny thing is, I'm like, even if she's lying, so what? How is Mark Zuckerberg and YouTube and Google, how is Meta and YouTube and Google and TikTok the moral police? Since when are they deciding what's moral and what's not? Mark Zuckerberg? He has the final say on what's morality and what's not? Little Jewish alien? Him? How can I trust Meta when they're the same people that went along with Joe Biden? How can I trust any of these platforms when they literally side with the government? What are we talking about? These social media companies are telling us what is moral and what's not. Meanwhile, everything immoral is on their platform. I can't even post on TikTok. It's crazy. And the group of people that have reported my page the most are black people. Black folks don't have enough decency and honor to just not come to my page. This is what I'm telling you is spiritual. Black folks come to my page and I'm telling the truth. There's no way I don't go to folks' pages and harass them. I don't. I don't go and report people. I don't. If I don't fool with your page, I don't fool with your page. Let's keep it moving. But black folks will condemn you and curse you out, then get on social media and try to get your page shut down. Dishonorable. It's dishonorable. And don't tell me it's not all. No, it's most. Most black people are okay with all this foolishness. They're okay with it. We can look at voting trends. You can look at most black folks that were surveyed said they wanted socialism. Over 60%. The only demographic that wanted socialism, more than half, was black people. Black folks vote for Democrat, 90%. Like the black church is an extension of the Democratic Party. Like we can go on and on. It's most black people. There ain't no few here. It's most. If you don't believe me, play this video at your family function and see what happens. If you don't believe me that it's most, take any of my videos and play them in front of a large crowd of black folks, and there's going to be chaos in the streets. Pamela said 99.9%. Nicodemus said bricks is taking over. The winning wall with Christina said one of the first things they will do is get rid of your social media account. That's what they do. Black people have a hive mind. But it's not just a hive mind, it's spiritual. Because most black people worship the same God and are involved in the same religion. Everything is about them being black. Everything. And if everything is about them being black, then that automatically means that white people are wrong. Tribalism. Let's continue, man. Let's continue. So today's title is Robert Brooks, Eric Lurry, and the Wages of Sin. Let me see, this is right here.
The released shocking video shows these correctional officers fatally beating an inmate, Robert Brooks. The footage, blurred and redacted by state authorities, shows officers repeatedly kicking and punching Brooks in the legs and chest and trying to jam an object down his throat. New York's Attorney General says Brooks was pronounced dead December 10th, a day after these interactions with correctional officers was recorded.
I do not take lightly the release.
Now look what they said. They said that this beating led to his death. Then he came back and said he died a day later. And the cause of death was asphyxiation. So we've already learned, just based on basic human anatomy and common sense, if he died from asphyxiation, you don't get choked on Monday and die Tuesday. That's not how that works. I'm going to say it again. You don't get choked on Monday and then you die on Tuesday. When you get choked and strangled, you die right then and there. You don't die the next day. So notice how they said the beating led to the death, but then the cause of death was asphyxiation. Well, we got two different conflicting stories. Either he got beat to death or he got choked to death, but we can agree a day later, it can't be asphyxiation. Now, again, I'm not saying these people are right because they're wrong. I'm saying they can be wrong and America not be racist. They can be wrong and white folks not be racist. The issue I have is them being wrong and that being proof of this broader picture is not true. Let's continue.
of this video.
James says the video doesn't have audio because the officers involved failed to properly activate their body cameras. It begins with Brooks being carried inside, handcuffed and face down. He's then raised up, face bloodied, and punched in various parts of his body.
The overwhelming shock, it was just felt so incomprehensible.
NBC.
White liberals are disgusting. I don't, you know what? I'd have to venture to say that it's probably wiggities and then bliggities, because the wiggity is powerful because the wiggity affirms everything. The wiggity libtard affirms everything. So if you're saying America's racist with no proof, and then one white liberal says it is, confirmation, case closed. That's why they're so dangerous. And black people don't even realize these wiggities are going to send y'all to hell in a handbasket. These wiggities, listen, imagine there's a one world government. Think about this for a second. Think about a one world government that is liberal and woke and communist. Black folk, you can't fathom what kind of world that is, where somebody is telling you that you can only go outside of your house or your dwelling for 3 hours a day because of climate change. Or you can't be a certain body weight outside because you're putting out too much carbon. Y'all can't fathom that kind of life. You can't fathom a life where there's no 911 to call because your streets are locked down and you're being patrolled with soldiers and robots. You can't even fathom that. You can't fathom being terrorized with black culture under those conditions, because black culture is going to stay the same. It's not like because it's a one world government and there's robots and soldiers on the street that black folks going to be the same. Only difference is you don't have no protection. There'll be no protection.
News has not been able to reach attorneys for the 14 people under investigation, but the president for the Correction Officers Benevolent Association adding in a sharply worded statement, the egregious and repugnant action of the officers who committed this heinous and fatal assault does not in any way reflect the values of the vast majority of correction officers, including my members. 13 personnel are currently suspended without pay. Another has resigned as the investigation continues. And yet, Tom, there are still questions tonight about what happened that led to the beating that we just saw. Tom?
Sam Brock with that disturbing new video just released.
And so now the issue is the brutality. Because they keep talking about the punching, the kicking. So the brutality of it all is what folks have a problem with. Because it's brutal. It's savagery, right? This is what they have a problem with. So let's just go and see. Okay, Brooks, 43, died on December 10th, the morning after he was assaulted by correctional officers in the Oneida County Prison. The body camera footage shows him handcuffed to a medical examination table while the officers are aggressively kicking and punching him. Brooks' face is bleeding in the footage. The videotapes of Brooks' death have drawn a public outcry. What to know? Brooks arrived at the Marcy Correctional Facility on December 9th after being transferred from the nearby Mohawk Correctional Facility. Hours later, he was taken, handcuffed to the medical examination room and beaten by the prison officers. He then was transported to a local hospital where he was pronounced dead in the early morning hours of December 10th. The New York Attorney General's office said in Friday's statement. Over a dozen officers were in the room. 4 of the involved officers were wearing body cameras but did not activate them, which is why there is no audio on the video footage, according to James. The footage does not show Brooks provoking or physically responding to the barrage of punches against him. hold on, let me just get to. Brooks was more than halfway through his 12-year prison sentence for first-degree assault, the Associated Press reported. In 2016, Brooks pleaded guilty to first-degree assault in connection with the stabbing of his girlfriend, Deanna Rivera, in April of that year. So let's go to what they say the cause of death was. Trying to find the cause of death. Because I read it this morning. Where is it? Okay, hold on one second. I had read this. I don't. Dang, man, they won't let me look at it. Oh, shit. I just read this article on my phone. This is crazy. So these officers were accused of doing this before. They were accused of, I guess, being violent towards inmates before. Well, I just wanted to find that cause of death. What the coroner said. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Preliminary findings of an autopsy by the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's Office shows concern for asphyxiation due to compression of the neck as the cause of death, as well as death being due to actions of another. So again, this is what they do. So they'll say something like, oh, it was asphyxiation. If you notice, it's always asphyxiation. You notice that? Like it's always choking. So again, just think for a second. They always talk about asphyxiation as the cause. So again, what they want the public to say is no more chokeholds. How are you going to restrain somebody without putting them in it? How are you going to do it? How are you going to restrain somebody that tells you, I don't want to be arrested? You can't put me in a chokehold. How you going to do it? So again, once they say no chokeholds, then they're going to say, okay, no armbar restraints. Then they're going to say, okay, you can't do this. Then and pretty soon, no engagement of civilians. Y'all can't see it because y'all don't want to see it. This man is in prison for trying to kill his girlfriend, stabbing her. I'm not saying it's right. I'm saying that these people they're trying to make heroes are scumbags. These aren't good people. Jordan Neely wasn't a good person. Mentally ill or not, he wasn't a good person. He had just fractured. He got 4 months for breaking the eye socket and fracturing the cheekbone of a 63-year-old woman. He got 4 months in jail. When does God come into play? When does it come into play that the wages of sin are death? When does it come into play? Like when is what you reap is what you sown. When does it come into play? Somebody, because black folks have a hard time believing that God, that's why I say black folks don't believe in God. There's no way you could believe in God and see somebody commit all of this destruction and think they don't have something coming for them. That's just insane to me. See, black folks wanted to be lightning striking. Black folks wanted to be something random so they can be okay with it. No. When do my actions cause me to lose my life? Even the non-biblical people believe what goes around comes around. Even the non-biblical people believe the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. So my question is, if the golden rule is treat others how I want to be treated, and what goes around comes around, what makes y'all think that these black folks can do all of this stuff and not have a consequence? There's a consequence beyond you going to prison. If there's a spiritual consequence. Your consequence ain't going to prison. Your consequence ain't going to jail. That ain't God's consequence. See, y'all confused and thinking that's the world's consequence. No, you have a divine consequence as well. This is why God tries to give us grace and mercy, because God can't stop what you got coming for you because you done earned it. So you going to prison for committing a crime, that ain't nothing to do with God. That's a world's consequence. That's a worldly consequence. What is your divine consequence? Anyway, Robert Brooks, I'm going to read it again. Preliminary findings of an autopsy by the Onondaga County Medical Examiner's Office show concerns for asphyxiation due to compression of the neck as the cause of death, as well as death being due to actions of another. That little thing right there, they just make something up. It just makes something up. So you're telling me he died from asphyxiation and also something else. How you picking between the two? How are you picking between the two? And again, these correctional officers, in my opinion, are wrong, but it does not make them racist. It does not make America racist. It does not mean that all correctional officers are racist. Like, it doesn't mean that. America cannot be racist and these folks be wrong. So if you tell me they're wrong, I'll agree with you. Should they get justice? I'll agree with you. But you telling me that they're racist, I don't agree with you. You tell me that America's racist, I don't agree with you. You tell me that police are racist, I don't agree with you. I don't agree. If it's really about the brutality that black men face in the correctional facility, then you all would care about stuff like this. Let's just cut through the chase. I'm tired of y'all. Let's just cut through the malarkey.
Say yo. Say fuck. Yo. Say fuck. Say fuck.
Dude, that's to nobody, bro.
Yeah, y'all clean them up.
Bitch, you better not bite me. You better.
I ain't gonna say nothing else.
Shut up, nigga. Put that shit in your mouth.
Put that shit back in your mouth, nigga.
I ain't gonna say nothing else. Okay.
Eat that shit.
No.
Yeah. Hey, look, why don't y'all do me a favor and reverse his face that way? I think I'm turning him to you. His leg need to be this way. He don't need to be forward this way. Turn him that way. You'll be all right.
Please don't hurt me, bro.
He don't hurt you.
Okay.
Do shit to you. Turn around.
You can't bust your, I would have been hit your ass.
I ain't gonna hurt you.
I can't breathe.
Turn him that way. All right. Yeah.
So as you see here, everything that the correctional officers was doing, the inmates doing to each other on a regular basis. Now, this video's on social media. Ain't no black folks saying we got to investigate this. Ain't no black folks saying let's start a petition. Letitia James ain't mentioning nothing about this. Like nobody that's supposed to care about stuff on social media. Now, meanwhile, my account is censored, but this is on the accounts and it's cool. Where is the outrage for this young man right here? Did they kill him? Did they sexually assault him? Like, what they do to him? What did they do to him? Nobody even cares. What was the outcome of his life? What are they putting something in this? The same thing the correctional officers did, these inmates are doing to this guy. But nobody's offended by this. Nobody cares about his life. Nobody. There ain't no petitions, no marches, no nothing. And this happens every day in the prisons and nobody cares. But you only care when a white correctional officer does something. Nicodemus said, what are we watching? We are watching what goes on in prison. So for the amount of outrage I see behind Robert Brooks, I should see the equal outrage behind the thousands of videos on social media, the tens of thousands of prisoners getting terrorized and tortured. I should see the same outrage. I should see the same outrage, but I don't. I only see outrage for white people. Let's continue. Let's continue.
That's right there.
So this is a gang member. This is a guy. This is in New York, Rikers Island. So you got proof that they are joining gangs in prison. You got guys being jumped into the gangs, getting beat up to join the gang. No outrage. This is in Rikers Island. They putting somebody on the set, a crib, and it's no outrage. Letitia James ain't saying nothing. The mayor ain't saying nothing. Eric Adams ain't saying nothing. Who the other fat dude? What's the fat dude's name? The fat light-skinned dude. Forgot his name. He ain't saying nothing. So again, you mad at the correctional officers, but this happens every single day. Braggs, yeah, Alvin Braggs ain't saying nothing about it. Letitia James ain't saying nothing about it. Eric, nobody is saying anything about the brutality that's taking place in prison with these inmates. There ain't no petitions. There ain't no marches. There ain't no humanitarian efforts. Nobody cares. They only care when a white person does something wrong. Let's continue. I'm not done. I'm not done. I'm not done. I thought I was done. I ain't done. I ain't done.
Hurt but I'm focused, fight my demons, and I pray that no one noticed. Told you all my secrets, so folks get exposed. I gotta watch you giving flowers, you be throwing on your mouth. My type is a white, could get left.
Is it racism? Is it racism? Black man attack a white man in prison. Is it racism? Is he still oppressed?
Hurt but I'm focused, fight my demons, and I pray that no one noticed. Told you all my secrets, so folks get exposed. I gotta watch you giving flowers, you be throwing on your mouth. My type is a white, could get left.
Is he still oppressed? They got phones in prison recording the brutality and savagery, and no one has a problem. And no one has a problem.
Why do you think it was important to...
Is it racism?
I know how I am. Just get a bitch. You know how I am. It's like, I ain't all right, bitch. I get this shit and get up out of here, nigga. You know that? Get your shit to the door, nigga. All right. Get your ass out of here. All right. Get up out of here. Yeah. Drunk, man. All right, bro. You ain't like... All right. Get that shit and get up out of here, man. All right. Move fast, no. Get that shit and get up out of here. Damn, bro. You better red.
Now, again, I want to think about all the language they said about Robert Brooks. He wasn't fighting back. They were repeatedly hitting him and beating him. I'm just showing you where is the outrage for it happening every day, because the issue is these white officers beating this person. That's the issue. So if the issue is them beating him, then that means that beating someone that is helpless and defenseless is wrong. Nicodemus says, snitch. Listen, man, in prison, it don't have to be because you snitched. Ain't no honor in prison. They pick any kind of reason. You owe somebody this, you got tricked. It ain't. Listen, this code of ethics that folks think exists in prison is false. They just as cutthroat and grimy in prison as ever, man. They come up with any kind of reason. If they want you, they want you. They'll make something up. They'll lie. I saw a video of a guy. He was Hispanic. And he came on the yard. He said, listen, y'all, I'm innocent. I didn't do it. I didn't molest that girl. He got beat up by every group beat him up. The whites beat him up. The blacks beat him up. The Hispanics beat him up. The Asians / everybody beat him up. He had to go be by himself in protective custody in prison. But he was still going to court with the court. Guess what? He was found innocent. They got video of this man getting beat up, brutalized in prison, and he was innocent. Do you think them inmates came and apologized? You think them inmates said, our bad, we was wrong? No. They beat him savagely, tried to kill him, and then that was it. Okay, you innocent. Oh, well, don't come back. Like, ain't no honor in prison. It's a lie. What's up, Sika? The titles of my name are just, I'm Amish, I'm Hebrew, I'm a Hotep, and I'm Moorish. That's the meaning of my name. No such evidence of white people open the discussion and let's talk are the spokes for so-called white. What? I don't know what you talking about. You finna come talking crazy. Anyway, my point is that the brutality in prison takes place all the time, and none of these folks say anything about it. They are black. Matter of fact, they are so desensitized to the brutality in prison that Fleece Johnson is a joke. Fleece Johnson was taking men's butts and it made its way to a cartoon show, The Boondocks. Like, it's a joke. Think about how brutal and savage it is for you to take a man's manhood away and nobody care. But then they want you to focus on white people and it's black men getting their manhood stripped away from them, going in there at 17, 18, their children, getting their manhood stripped away from them, and nobody cares. And you want me to step over all these black victims to worry about 4 white police officers? You're out of your mind. You out of your mind. They still beating him. Nothing. Hold on. Hear me out. Now, the prison placed you in a dorm. Now they telling him he got to get out the dorm. He can't. Where's he gonna go? Think about it. Where is he going to go? Get out of here. Get your stuff and go. Where is he going to go? He's in prison. Go to the next door. They're going to beat him up too. He got to go to solitary by himself. He had to go there and be with the pedophiles and the lowlifes and the child murderers and the rapists. He got to go over there in that section. He was a secret though. They all in the same boat. The wages of sin is death. So you got a bunch of sinful people casting judgment on other sinful people. The same way that Mark Zuckerberg can't be the morality of society is the same way these inmates can't either. They're horrible people too. Hold up. They've been beating this dude for minutes. He drowsy. He done been kicked in the head. Like, they expect him to just hop up and be like, dude, he been getting beat on. Like, he can't collect his bearings. They savage. I'll tell you, they savage. He can't get his faculties together, get his mind right, get his bearings. Okay, let me see. No, get up now. Like, he's just beating on him, slapping him, kicking him, punching him.
Don't stay around here. Don't stay around here.
Listen, man, I'm not debating you about a white race. There's a group of people on the planet that folks call white. So what difference do it make? I don't believe in the black or white color codes. What difference do it make? I'm not debating you over something stupid. There's a such thing as an anti-white agenda. So the folks that they call white are the ones that's going against this global agenda. That's who they're after. Talking about debate you over something dumb. Can you prove there's a white race? Can you prove, man, shut up. Shut up. They got all this energy towards proving me wrong, but not towards Klaus Schwab. They got all this energy for me, but not towards Agenda 2030. The group of people they call white are the ones they're after. It ain't the Bliggitties, it ain't the Moors, it ain't the Hebrews. It is the Christian white conservatives. That's who they're after. The white Protestant Anglo-Saxons, that's who they're after. The Caucasians, that's who they're after. They're after white people. I bet I can prove that there ain't no white man. Shut up. It's a bunch of dummies, man. So just a bunch of idiots. They ain't worried about you. How about that? They're not worried about you. That the person they ain't afraid of is you, the great debater. You was an extra in a Denzel movie. The Great Debater. I can prove that we were actually white and they were actually black. Man, shut up. I can prove that our status was white and we're the black nobility and we shut up. Y'all the biggest crybabies on the planet. I'm a sovereign citizen and my rights have to be. Shut up.
Leave folks shit alone, bro. Leave folks shit alone.
He can't even. No, he can't even get his bearings together. Like as soon as he get conscious again, they just hitting him again. So again, all this outrage for Robert Brooks, but none for the sheer savagery and brutality in these prisons. None. None. I want to debate you, and I want to have a debate with you. I wish I would stoop myself down and debate with you heathens. I wish I would do it. I wish I would do it with you heathens, you troglodytes. You are misinformed, brother. I'm here to say, man, shut up. You can't name me one thing that the Moors done built. Show it to me. Show it to me. The Amish build a house every day. The Amish will build a house every day with no construction equipment. The Amish build every day. The Moors don't do nothing. Go to the Moors temple of your city and tell me how it looks. Go to the Moorish temple of your city and tell me how it looks, and then go watch the Amish. The Amish build a house. The Amish build something every day. I don't care if it's a dog house. The Amish will build something every day. Y'all ain't built nothing. I said it. You have titles without correct narratives. I bet your damn so-called Christ unbeliever. Look at him. It can't help it. Ain't did not. He has no contribution to society other than being obligatory. You are giving the wrong information. You believe in Christ. I'm with Billy Carson. You gotta listen to Billy Carson. He knows what's going on. Just obligatory. Straight up obligatory. Using the incorrect terms. These aren't the right terms. All right, let's go to here we go.
Hey, wake up, bitch. Let's go. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth. Open your mouth.
Now, this is Eric Lurry. Now, based on context, again, Black folks struggle with context. They want him to open his mouth and not go to sleep. Now, your question is, okay, you say, okay, they're racist. Okay, aside from that, why would they not want him to go to sleep and open his mouth? Just think. Why would they not want him to go to sleep and open his mouth? Why would they want him to open his mouth and not go to sleep? So basically, this guy got pulled over. And because, you know, again, I say this all the time, the reason why black folks plead out in court so much and lose in court is because black people go into court trying to avoid punishment. They try to avoid punishment versus trying to win the case. It is a different strategy than you trying to avoid getting punished versus you trying to win the case. You trying to win the case will require you to be non-emotional and strategic, require you to critically think. Those are things that black folks don't do very well. So when he gets pulled over by the police, he tried to swallow his dope. So what is he swallowing? He's swallowing cocaine. He's swallowing fentanyl. He's probably swallowing heroin. He's probably swallowing 3 different drugs. So what do you think is going to happen with a person that ingests cocaine, fentanyl, and heroin? What's going to happen to him? What do you think is going to happen when these guys swallow this dope because they don't want to get in trouble? And this happens a lot of folks swallowing the dope and dying. This happens a lot. They don't talk about it. Mystic Philly said that's instant death. Tori said, I got spit on by a black prisoner. I didn't claim racism. She was just nuts. Exactly. And that's my point. My point is the only group of people that do something bad to a person of color, and it's called racism, is white people. White folks have the burden of having to be perfect. If a white person isn't perfect, they're racist. It's not only unrealistic, but it's dangerous. Fentanyl is very powerful. It is. Now they are pulling dope out of his mouth. And again, because the police officer slapped him and said, wake up, bitch, that's everybody focus on that. So what you're saying is that a white person has to be perfect. So when they put the baton in his mouth to get the drugs out, all that, now they're wrong. Not the fact that he's selling dope, not the fact that he swallowed dope, it's what the white officers did. And again, even if they're wrong, it doesn't mean they're racist, though. Even if we say this is police misconduct, it doesn't mean they're racist. But the man swallowed all this dope. What y'all think is going to happen? Thank you, Tish. Tish said a bad white cop will abuse whites as much as blacks. Bad cops are just bad cops. Abuse of power is abuse of power. They're trying to get him to throw it up. They're trying to shake the acid up. They're trying to get him to vomit because he swallowed all this dope. Now, they want you to bypass all the truths of the case, all the facts, and they want you to focus on these officers. But listen, I'm not going to do it. I refuse to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to hell because y'all want to be black. I'm not doing it. I am not going to do it. When I stand before God on Judgment Day, he going to say, despite it all, you told the truth. I'm not going to do what y'all do. Y'all just lie and cheat and steal and don't care about nothing. Not me. On January 29th, 2020, Eric Lurry, a 37-year-old black man, died approximately 11 hours after JPD officers arrested him and took him into custody during a narcotic surveillance operation. Squad car video showed a handcuffed Lurry in the rear of the squad car, chewing on something and appearing to lose consciousness. Upon arriving at the JPD station, a JPD sergeant opened the rear squad door, slapped Lurry in the face, and said, "Wake up, B." The sergeant then placed his hands on Lurry's neck and jaw and pinched Lurry's nose shut for nearly 90 seconds. While still pinching his nose shut, the sergeant pulled on Lurry's jaw and opened his mouth. Another JPD officer inserted a baton in his mouth and removed multiple clear bags. Lurry was unresponsive, and the officers began rubbing Lurry's sternum with a closed fist. Lurry did not respond to the sternum rub, and officers pulled Lurry out of the squad car and began CPR. Paramedics arrived shortly thereafter and transported him to an area hospital where he died 10 hours later. Now, they want you all to condemn these officers for trying to save his life. That's what they want. They want y'all to condemn these officers for trying to save his life because the one guy called him a bitch. But I would agree, if you are selling drugs, because you're selling drugs to the community, that's an appropriate name. Like, him calling him that doesn't mean anything, because any man that would sell poison to anybody he's a B. But they want you to focus on that, and to slap and wake up, focus on that, and not the fact that he just swallowed all of this dope. I won't do it. I won't do it.
Wake up. Let's go.
We begin with a controversy exploding about this video obtained by the CBS 2 investigators. It just now surfaced, even though the man you see here, Eric Lurry, died after being in the custody of Joliet police nearly 6 months ago. It's another example of police departments across the country holding back on critical videos that raise questions about misconduct. Only in this case, it was their own training officer who blew the whistle. CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini spoke exclusively to that officer about breaking the blue wall of silence.
Erica, the video he showed me is disturbing. Another black man in the hands of police who ends up dead. This officer, who still works here and blew the whistle anyway, well, in our conversation, what he had to say was remarkable.
So he was suffocating.
In my opinion, anybody would suffocate in that situation.
What was your reaction when you saw that video for the first time?
And seeing that video was so disturbing, I cried. Every day having to live with that was a hard thing, knowing that this administration was probably going to do nothing about it.
This is the cop who blew the whistle on what he calls a 5-month cover-up by his department. Sergeant Javier Escueda sounded the alarm about 2 videos that captured the last moment.
Yes, JV Chanel, he is a miggity. That is a Mexican bliggity. He's a miggity. Or if he's Hispanic, a higgity. Or if he's Latino or Latina, a liggity. Now, this man is lying. He knows good and well that the man swallowed the dope. So why won't he say it? He's being interviewed to tell what's really going on, and he won't say it. Did he get paid? He knows what's going on. The man swallowed dope. He knows what they're doing. He knows why they're doing it. So my question is, why is he not saying this in interviews? He's a liar, that's why.
Of Eric Lurry's life.
And you, a 27-year veteran, a sergeant, blows the whistle. Why did you think that was important?
It's important for people to know that things like that can't be tolerated by police departments.
One video was recorded by an outside camera. It shows patrol officers and supervisors watching it happen. But this camera inside the squad, 7 minutes long, is the most critical in capturing how Lurry was treated, especially during a crucial span where his airway appeared to be obstructed lasting 1 minute and 38 seconds. It all started when this sergeant, Doug May, in plain clothes and a hooded sweatshirt, enters the vehicle and strikes Lurry in the face.
Hey, wake up, bitch.
What was the hardest part about watching that you saw?
So again, Tori says, since when did the public think they deserve video of everything cops do, show their entire shift? Exactly. I mean, but again, everybody wants the police to be transparent, but not Kamala Harris. Everybody wants the police to be transparent, but not Joe Biden. Everybody wants the police to be transparent, but not Mark Zuckerberg. You see, people pick and choose where they want transparency. Everybody wants the police to be transparent, but not the Democrats. Transparency means hold white folks accountable. That's all it means. Because clearly when it comes to black folks, that word don't exist. Transparency means hold white folks accountable. This man knows good and well why those cops did what they did. Everybody wants to focus on the guy slapping him on the face and calling him the B word. And really, he slapped him to wake him up, which he did wake up. That's why he slapped him. Wake up. We've seen this all the time. We've seen this in movies. Wake up. This wake up never been a problem. We grew up on wake up. It's never been a problem until now. Smacking somebody and waking them up has never been a problem till now when a white person does it. This man done swallowed cocaine, fentanyl, heroin, and y'all think he gonna live. George Floyd is full of dope. You think he's gonna live after he just had an overdose 6 weeks prior, where his girlfriend admitted, I didn't know he was doing heroin on top of the pills, the fentanyl, and the dope, and the coke. These folks are doing multiple drugs. Give me the study on, now listen, at least a crackhead would just smoke crack. These folks doing crack, heroin, fentanyl, and popping pills. At least the heroin addict is just doing heroin. These folks are doing 4 drugs at one. Come on, what you think is gonna happen? But Blast, I thought the melanin could cancel out the effects of the drug. It's crazy.
The hardest part of watching that video was watching another fellow sergeant slap him and calling him a bitch on that video, then going straight for his nose, cutting off his airway.
When his nose was pinched and held tight shut, what was happening to him at that moment?
He's suffocating. I'm no doctor, but if you put your finger on your nose or your hand on your nose that way and you can't breathe.
He says Lurry appeared to be chewing something at first, and with his hands cuffed behind him, starts to close his eyes and become lethargic during his ride to the Joliet police station. Possibly a bag of drugs in his mouth, says Escueda. He also says officers were trying to get him to open his mouth using a maneuver to cut off his air supply.
That's been written in the law for a couple of years. You can't do that anymore, to try to get him to cough up any kind of drugs in their system.
He says the baton inserted into his mouth and toward his throat was also wrong.
Was that a violation of police procedure?
Yes, I absolutely think so.
This man said, I think so. Imagine you being the deciding voice, possibly, of these men losing their career and going to prison, and you say, I think so. On one hand, he's saying they were trying to get him to cough up drugs, and on the other hand, he's trying to say they were wrong. But if their intent is to get him to cough up the drugs, then how are they wrong? How are you just disregarding their intent of trying to save his life? Do you see what he just did here? He just said these guys are wrong, but they were trying to get him to cough up the drugs. Which one is it? A higgity, a Hispanic bliggity.
I can't think of anywhere where I was taught CPR or in the academy where you slap a man, call him a bad name, cut off his airway, go for his throat.
Lurry, a 37-year-old father of 3, was pronounced dead later that night at a hospital. But Sergeant Escueda believes he was already dead. You can see one officer eventually heads to the squad with a defibrillator.
There obviously is a lot wrong with that video. And if anybody doesn't...
Yeah, but here goes my issue, right? Something being wrong doesn't mean it's racist, and it doesn't mean it had bad intent. This is why I tell y'all the danger of holding white people to such a standard. You can't say they have to be perfect because you're dehumanizing them. Their intent was to save this man's life. But you're saying because they didn't save his life or tried it correctly, they deserve to be condemned and punished. That's insanity. Man, check and see if this guy got his papers. Check and see if this guy has his papers. Is he a legal immigrant? This guy right here. Check and see.
Feel any pain by watching that, there's something wrong with them.
He says he got the courage to show his face in this interview after seeing the story we broke last night about Lurry's widow, who didn't know videos existed until we told her we got a tip. What do you know?
I don't know anything. I don't know absolutely nothing. I can't get any answers from anyone.
Nicole Lurry says all she...
You knew he was selling dope. You knew he was selling dope. You may not have answers. You may not have video, but you knew he was selling dope. And the wages of sin is death.
Knew was what she saw, the final moments of her husband in the ICU.
When I arrived to the hospital, I seen my husband laying there on a ventilator in the emergency room, jerking and tears coming out of his eyes.
For that minute and 30 plus, minute and 30.
But you knew he was selling dope. Why weren't you crying about the dope? Why weren't you telling baby, stop selling dope? Baby, do it the right way. Baby, get a job. Baby, don't be a bum degenerate. Baby, be a good role model for our children. Where was all of this sympathy and pain when he was selling dope, though? Baby, don't sell no dope no more. Baby, put the fentanyl down. We got kids in the house, baby. Baby, put the dope up, baby. Put the heroin away, baby. Put the dope. We don't need this no more, baby. Baby, let's do it the right way, baby. Let's go to church, baby. Let's pray to God. Where was all that then? Why is it after all the damage that's been done, all the death, destruction, and damnation, now all of a sudden, now you want to be the moral person now? Now you're sad. Now he jerking and tearing up. Yeah, he swallowed the dope. He know it's over. He swallowed the dope. He knows it's over.
38 seconds. What do you feel while you watch that?
Disgust, pain, because I think about what if that was one of my relatives? What if that was my 7-year-old son?
Man, deport him. Deport him. Deport this guy. Deport him. I said it.
That's somebody else's husband, someone else's son, someone else's grandchild. I was always taught, look at people, treat people on the street as if they were your family. How you would want your family to be treated by the police.
And while Eric...
Man, deport him. But Blanche, he illegals. I don't care. Deport him. Get him out of here. Man on here lying. First he say they bad cops. Then he said they're trying to save his life. Man, get out of here, that double satanic talk. Get him out of here. Romans 6, what shall we say then? Shall we continue in sin that grace may abound? God forbid. How shall we that are dead to sin live any longer therein? Know ye not that so many of us were baptized into Jesus Christ, were baptized into his death? Therefore we are buried with him by baptism into death, that like as Christ was raised up from the dead by the glory of the Father, even so we also should walk in newness of life. For if we have been planted together in the likeness of his death, we shall be also in the likeness of his resurrection. Knowing this, that our old man is crucified with him, that the body of sin might be destroyed, that henceforth we should not serve sin. For he that is dead is freed from sin. Now, if we be dead with Christ, we believe that we shall also live with him. Knowing that Christ, being raised from the dead, dieth no more, death have no more dominion over him. For in that he died unto sin once, but in that he liveth unto God. Likewise reckon ye also yourselves to be dead indeed unto sin, but live unto God through Jesus Christ our Lord. Let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that they should obey it in the lust thereof. Neither yield ye your members as instruments of unrighteousness unto sin, but yield yourselves unto God as those that are alive from the dead, and your members as instruments of righteousness unto God. For sin shall have no dominion over you, for ye are not under the law, but under grace. What then? Shall we sin because we are not under the law, but under grace? God forbid. Know ye not that to whom ye yield yourselves servants to obey, his servants ye are to whom ye obey, whether of sin unto death, or of the obedience unto righteousness? But God thanked that ye were the servants of sin, but ye have obeyed from the heart, from the doctrine which was delivered you. Being made free from sin, ye became the servants of righteousness. So God clearly instructs us to not sin. Because if we are sinful, then we are going to choose unrighteousness. And if we are going to choose unrighteousness, then the next step is death. So living a sinful life, you will have consequences, not just worldly consequences, but also spiritual ones. There is a spiritual consequence for you stabbing your girlfriend and then going to court and lying about how you didn't do it. See, these criminals, what they do is they do these horrendous crimes and they lie about it. So there's a spiritual crime responsibility connected to as well. So now if you're selling dope, you're in error. So if you're selling dope and you're lying about selling dope, now you're doing two things. Now you're wrong in the physical world and in the spiritual world. So what y'all don't understand is you're going to suffer two consequences. Two. The world's consequence and God's consequence. Thank you, Rick Julian. Rick Julian stated, pinching his nose was an attempt to trigger him to begin breathing through his mouth. Fentanyl can kill on contact. That's why they use the baton versus their hand. Thank you. And somebody mentioned that earlier, that fentanyl, if you touch it, is just that deadly. But again, common sense would tell you they are covering his nose up to get him to breathe through his mouth. That's what they were doing. And they were going in with the baton to get the rest of the dope out of his mouth. This is common sense. But when all you care about is getting a check, when all you care about is fulfilling an agenda, when all you care about is being black and oppressed, the results you get are such. You in a constant cycle of chaos and destruction. Let's continue. I was reading from Romans 6. For when ye were the servants of sin, ye were free from righteousness. What fruit had ye then in those things whereof ye are now ashamed? For the end of those things is death. But now being made free from sin and become servants to God, ye have your fruit unto holiness, and the end everlasting life. For the wages of sin is death, but the gift of God is eternal life through Jesus Christ our Lord. So God is clear about not only why you should live a righteous life, but the consequence of sin, which is death. And you being free from death is you being free from sin. And so if your culture says it's okay to sin, then you're going to die. You're going to die physically, and you're going to die spiritually. So if black culture is telling you that sin is okay, you have a big problem. That's what black culture is. Black culture is a green light or a hall pass to live a life of sin. And then when it comes time for consequence of your actions, you point to white folks to get the blame, to get the brunt of it. But let's continue. Let's continue.
I had a mentor tell me once, 1 is too close to none, and 2 is too close to 1. But he said 3 and you dead free. Ladies, let's walk.
Now I'm going to ask you all a question. If a white man was walking down the street and he had a dog leash around the neck of 2 black women, what do you think the outcome would be? If a white man was walking down the street and he had a dog collar around the neck of 2 black women walking down the street, what do you think the outcome would be? You know, as well as I do, that it would have been a riot. It would have been on every major news station. Obama would have said something about it. Kamala would have said something about it. Joe Biden would have said something about it. And that white man would have been in prison by now, or at least detained till his trial. There is no way that a white man in 2024 can walk down the street with dog leashes around the neck of 2 white women. There's no way. Now you're telling me that America is racist and black folks are oppressed, but this black man is walking down the street with dog leashes around the necks of blonde-haired white women. He's doing this in public. And you're telling me that America is racist? You trying to convince me that America is racist? A black man is able to walk down the street with dog leashes around white women's neck, and nobody says a word to him. But we know if a white man was walking down the street with the dog leashes around 2 black women's neck, honestly, he might be killed on the street. It'd be vigilante justice. Honestly, the white guy wouldn't even be able to make it to the police, to the precinct. He'd probably be killed on the streets. And y'all know it's true. So my question is, why are you so comfortable with the black man doing it, but you're outraged if the white man does it? Why are you okaying when the black man does it, but you want death upon the white man does it? You know why? Because your culture says that it's okay to sin. Your culture says you don't have to honor God. Your culture says you are able to reject Christ. Your culture says the rules only apply to white people, not to you. Your culture says you don't have to be accountable as long as white people are on the earth. That's your culture. Your culture is anti-God. Black culture is the culture of the Antichrist. It will be the very means by which the Antichrist will rise to power. Because everybody will say we have to hold white folks accountable and nobody else. Everybody else is seen morally righteous and virtuous because they're not white. And everybody that is white, not white libtards, not wiggities, not purple-haired libtard wiggities, no. The Christian conservative, patriotic white person are the ones that are the threat to the world because they would dare go against Satan's global agenda. If a white man was walking down the street and he had the dog leashes around two black women's necks, you all know as well as I do that he probably wouldn't make it to the police precinct. They would have probably killed him on the streets and then been celebrated. And folks would have called it justice. But when a black man does it, nobody says a word. So either folks believe that when black folks sin, it's not sin, or folks have just a low expectation of black people in general. And that's just how they are. Either way, you're going to hell. Either way, you're going to hell. And you're going to hell via your culture. You have to reject black culture just as much as you reject being black, because both of those things are going to send you to hell. Let's continue. Let's continue.
You're so cool.
Oh, she got aim.
Hey, come on.
What? What? Just go. Just leave, man.
Now, this is white people. Now, I want you to see her size. Look at her size. Look at her size. Look at the size difference. Now, she's trying to protect the store merchandise. This is white people. This is why they don't like white people. Now, she's probably not a millionaire. She probably don't have stock in the company. I don't know. I'm just, but you stealing from the store offends her because she's in charge of the store. This is why they hate white people. This guy could turn around and knock her out, beat her up. She don't care because what's right is right. So she's willing to risk her life for some products. And these stores don't get compensated for people stealing from them. They don't. They don't get compensated from somebody coming in their store. It doesn't happen. No insurance company would be that stupid to do that. So this stuff, the cost of this merchandise is ate by the company. The company eats this cost. But I'm telling you that she's risking her life so that these products don't get stolen on her watch. This is why they hate white people. This is why they hate white people. Because white people stand on business, real business. Black folks stand on business. White folks stand on business. Two different things. Business and business are two different things. Just like I have a drink or a drink, two different things. Look at the size difference between these two. And he hit her. And he hit her. Look. Look at the size difference between these two. And she bucking. Look at her. Look at the size difference. Look at the size difference. Look. Look, he hit her. She don't care. She done got hit. She don't care. She threw something back at her. Now they mad at her because she don't want to be a white liberal and let them steal and say, go queen, yes, because you know they're kind of sweet. They're mad because they ain't saying, because she ain't saying, yes, queen, go slay queen, steal queen. They mad. They want to fight her now. Now they mad at her. White people represent accountability. They represent rules. They represent order. They represent structure. On a subconscious level, white people represent God. I'm not saying that white people are God. I'm saying in your feeble, bliggity mind, in your nigglet mind, when you see white people, you see accountability. When you see black people, you see a party. It's disgusting. It probably is. It's probably California. Probably is. It's California. It sure is. It sure is. Let's continue.
Of the life. Look at his face. Stop. Bitch ass nigga, you said you fucked my baby mama. Now I'm thinking about it, nigga. Come on, bro. You said you fucked Brianna. Tell the truth. I gotta hit that bitch for I gotta hit that bitch for it.
Brooklyn is crying. Can you stop?
She can't see nothing. No.
Now he do this in front of his children. Or somebody, this is being done in front of children. And this is on camera. Now, I want you to think about if it was a white guy doing it, not even a white officer, just a white guy doing this, the outrage you would have been.
Yeah, that's what you wanted. I told you every day I'm gonna do this to you. And this bitch hopped out like he was gangster, and he said he fucked my baby mama, nigga.
So now the baby mama's right there, the new guy's on the ground, she crying, all this is being done, and there's no outrage. There's no outrage in the black community.
You fuck my baby mama. Nigga, you not no equal to me, nigga.
Okay, stop. Don't want the police to come.
I don't care about no police.
I don't care. She said, I don't want the police to come. He said, I don't care about no police. So again, this is what happens. The power of life and death is in the tongue. So you heard what he said. I don't care about no police. So you already, y'all love the universe so much. He done told the universe, I don't care about the police. Okay, that's what he said now.
I'm going to jail. I told you that. I'm going to beat this shit. You love him? You love him? You gonna nurse his wounds? Is you gonna nurse his wounds? Is you gonna nurse his wounds?
Can you stop?
You gonna nurse his wounds?
I can't breathe, bro.
I don't care, nigga.
The guy said, I can't breathe. What did the black man say? I don't care. Now, I can't breathe supposed to be a statement when it's said, everything's supposed to stop. When a black man says, I can't breathe, everything's supposed to stop. This black man said, I can't breathe, and her baby father said, I don't care. This video was viral. No outrage. No, this is wrong. No, nothing. But if he was white, oh my goodness. If he was white. Now this guy said, I'm going to do this to you every day. He going to beat up her new boyfriend every day. So in other words, she can have a life without him. I'm going to beat up the new boyfriend every day. That's what he said. Now, DT says, you act like most black people condone the type of behavior when that couldn't be further from the truth. So are you one of those black WS? Now, let me ask y'all a question. What does black culture say about these activities? Now, we forget black people. What does the culture say? What does black culture say about retaliation? What does black culture say about violence? What does black culture say about revenge? What does black culture say about what goes on in prison? What does black culture say about when a crime is committed? What does black culture say? 49% of the homicides in the black community go unsolved. You're telling me what most black people don't do, and I'm telling you the numbers don't say that. 94% of the homicides committed in the black community are committed by black people against black people. I don't want to hear about proximity because black people kill to the tune of over half of the homicides in the US are committed by black people. That means that black people kill more than white, Hispanic, and anybody else combined. Don't tell me what the majority of black folks condone when there's a no snitching rule in the hood. Don't tell me what the black community condones when 6% of the population of black women account for 40% of the abortions. Don't tell me what black folks condone when 90% of the eligible black voters vote for Democrats. Don't tell me about what black folks condone when all the numbers suggest they condone all of it. The majority of black folks condone this foolishness. How do we know this? Because black conservatives aren't even popular among black people. You don't see black folks celebrating any black conservatives. All the great things that black conservatives have done, from Booker T to Joseph H. Jackson to Bob Woodson to so many, and black folks shun them and condemn them. Telling me what black folks don't condone. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? I just told you that 49% of the homicides go unsolved. 49%. It's crazy. Trying to tell me what black folks condone, but when I look at the culture, it's celebrated what's going on. Everybody know what goes on in these prisons, and you ain't seen one march for the brutality of these black men against other black men in prison. You ain't seen no marching or protesting for all these homicides in the black community. Kamala Harris had a whole campaign about aborting your baby and turning them trans, and she got 88% of the black vote. Kamala Harris had a campaign on abortion and turning your children trans, and she got 88% of the black vote. Don't tell me nothing about what black folks condone. You are a liar, and you are a coward. Getting on here lying. Black folks lie. Black people lie. We can pull up the homicide rate. What's your city? DT, what city are you in? DT, what city are you in? Give me your city so I can pull the stats up in your city. Give me the city. Most black churches are sold out to Democratic Party. Talking about what most black folks don't do. White liberals don't mention the violence in the black community. South Dakota. Where you from? South Dakota? Oh, San Diego. Okay, let's see. Let's see the homicides in San Diego. Now, according to you, black folks are outraged by it. So that means if I see a black homicide, I should see some type of march attached to it. Because after all, black folks march for everything else. Black folks march everything else. So let's see. Homicides in now San Diego is mostly white. So it should be a bunch of white homicides in these studies. Homicides in San Diego. In San Diego. Let's see, 2023. Let's see. We go last year and go this year. Let's see. Now let's see 2022. 2021, let's go. Let's do year by year. There were 118 homicides in 2021. 3 more than 2020. So there's 115 in 2020. So let's see who's committing the homicides. Let's see if they got the information up here. Let's see, they probably woke. Let's see if we can get to the demographics. Where are the crime demographics? That's all I want, crime demographics. Since I'm spinning a narrative, let's see what the stats say on the crime, on demographics, who's doing it. Isn't this funny, y'all? I'm going through all this data and they don't mention race not one time. Now, what's funny is there's no race attached to the homicides, but they got all the race stuff when it comes to what they call hate crimes. I'm gonna find it. We're gonna find it. I'm glad I got a bliggity on here right now. Homicide demographics. I'm gonna get it right now. Why are they not showing me the race? I find this quite perplexing that I can't find the race of these people. I'm putting in demographics. I cannot find the race. I wonder why. San Diego annual crime reports. Man, come on. So I'm gonna ask you all a question. Why is it so difficult for me to find the demographics of these crimes, these homicides in San Diego? Because I'm looking for it and I can't. I'm looking at report after report. I ain't got enough time to go. I'm trying to go after report, and I can't find demographics of the people. Which race commits the most crimes in San Diego? Let me type that. Let me Google that. Which race commits the most murders in San Diego? Let's type that in. You got to get bold. Which race commits the most homicides in San Diego? And we know that the white population in San Diego far outnumbers the black population. Let's see. And then I find the one that shows the race, and they say I got to pay for it. Boy, they go. Boy, they go. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. This is comical. Oh, look. The article that lets me know that the race is doing it, now I got to pay. Boy, listen. When I tell you they are cold, this is you mean to tell me all these graphs and there's none on demographics? All they got is stuff on hate crimes. So you're not going to tell me who's committing these crimes. I can't know the race. Boy, it's a cold game, y'all. So DT, so my question, DT, is DT, why am I not able to find the demographics on who's committing these homicides? Why is that normal? Why is that information being hidden? If what you're saying is true, then why can't I find it? Well, I'm trying to find it for San Diego, and I wish Tori was on here because I know she could find it. Some other kind of database. I can't find it. But what we do know is that nationally, black people make up, or black men make up 7 to 6% of the population, and they account for 53% of the homicide. Oh, we got Tori. You said look up Ripper, though. I think I was on Ripper. I'm on the city of San Diego, but they got a stat on literally everything except who's committing the crime. Like what's the race of the person that's committing the crime? That should be normal. Now, DT, what I asked you was, why can't I find it? Why is it so difficult? What I asked you. So tell me, why would it be difficult to find that? Why would they show me hate crime statistics and not show me demographics on who's committing the actual crimes? So why are they telling me that white folks are committing hate crimes, but not who's committing the homicides? Tell me. You said Google crime victims and suspects. That's crazy, man. I'm going to find it. Don't worry. I'm going to find it. Don't worry. Don't worry. I'm a black homicide, San Diego. Let me just type that in. Let me just type that in. Oceanside Police Department releases picture of homicide suspect. Well, we already know he black, so we already see that. We know that's. I need something better than that though. They got everything. Oh well, I'm gonna find it. Don't worry, I'm gonna find it, and I'm gonna come back in my next show. I'm gonna find it in the demographics. I'm gonna come back, and I'm going to ask DT why, when I get these homicide numbers, why there wasn't not a single protest, march, or riot or looting from the homicide that black folks committing. I'm going to ask him why there wasn't a single bit of outrage behind it. Now, he said that black folks don't condone homicide in the black community. So that means that there are more than 10 homicides, then the folks in San Diego that are black should be outraged. Okay, Angel, we hope you get better. Y'all pray for Angel Wings. She ain't feeling good. Okay, it's time for me to go, y'all. But I got 2 more videos before I go.
Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
Oh, man, listen. I love this video.
Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
Now, y'all do realize that white people picked cotton too, because cotton was an industry. Cotton was an industry. So it wasn't just black people and black slaves, and everybody was picking cotton, picking tobacco, picking sugarcane. These are industries. They weren't exclusive to just black people. This white man has so eloquently showed you all how easy it is to pick cotton. Not saying that it ain't hard in the heat, in the sun, whatever, but you know that picking cotton only happens a certain time because the cotton has to bloom. So you're not picking cotton year round because the cotton got to bloom, right? Right?
Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
So cotton blooms late June, early July to mid-August. So we're talking about, at the most, you got 2 months of picking cotton. The cotton is blooming from June to August. You got 2 months of picking cotton. Let's say 2.5 months. Let's say 3 months. You got 3 months of picking cotton out of a 12-month year. They didn't make y'all believe that black folks was picking cotton 12 months out the year, and when in actuality, they was picking cotton for 3 months out the year.
Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
There were white slaves, there were black slaves, there were white slave masters, there were black slave masters, and white and black people picked cotton, and cotton was only blooming during the summer. June, July, and August, they had y'all believing that they was picking cotton all year round, and it just wasn't true. They picked cotton for 3 months. And the white guy just showed you the difficulty in picking cotton. Let's play it again.
Look at how easy that was. Black people did not build America, and they do not deserve reparations. Thank you.
So again, all this propaganda and programming was designed to get a group of people to already be comfortable with being oppressed. I'm gonna walk you through it real quick before I go. They wanted black people, because they had the influence, to be comfortable with not having any rights, even though they have rights, even though they have freedoms. They wanted to convince black people that even though they were free and had rights, they weren't. That group of people has the power to influence the world. So now you use black people to make the enslavement of humanity look good. This is why there's so many movies and shows and depictions of slavery, to make people comfortable with the idea of not having any rights. That's the whole purpose of it. That is the entire purpose of it. Thank you, Cruise Missile, for the super sticker. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Martin Towns, for this super sticker. I add you on Instagram, and Instagram stopped me from commenting on posts. Official claim is I was spamming, which is a lie. I like showing you the obligativities over there on their censorship. Thank you, Mr. Towns. I read that earlier. Idris Singleton, thank you so much for your contribution as well. I love y'all. And you know what? I got one more thing to show. I have one more thing to show y'all. Speaking of slavery and picking cottons in Africa and slave trades and whips and chains.
Ask you something. What country in Africa are you from?
I'm from America. That's what we're saying. Just
What
like a
country in
Jamaica,
Africa
just like
are
a
you
no,
from?
hold on. Just like somebody from Jamaica, they're not going to say what country in Africa they're from. Somebody in Haiti is not going to say what country from. They're going to say they're Haitian.
Because they were closer from, what is it called, the triangular slave
But
trade.
then when you ask them that question, they're not going to have a definitive answer.
That's because they're already in their own community of Caribbeans, the Haitians, Jamaicans. They're all like in one bowl. Just as
But
far
Black Americans are in their own
But
bowl
the-
as well.
the
Like that's
reason why I
that's
asked
what I'm
that,
saying.
that's
Why are
why
we getting questioned?
That's why Africans feel that way, because they feel like because you don't know where you come from, which is not by fault by Africans.
We
it's
know
not by,
where we come from. We come from America, just like
I guess it's
Jamaicans
just more
come from Jamaica. Like, what is the
I
difference?
think I represent Ghana more because I know my culture from Ghana. For an example, my mom, she's American. I don't know what part of Africa she was from. My dad, he's Ghanaian.
She's American, like.
But at the end of the day,
I don't know. They're American. You wouldn't say that to a Jamaican.
But
Would you
they're
say that to a
African
Jamaican?
American though.
Would
Like-
you say a Jamaican don't know what part of Africa he from?
Jamaicans are Caribbean, so they already have their own like.
Would you
Haitian
say he don't know what part of Africa he
But
from?
he know where he comes from. He comes from Jamaica.
Just like a black person know they come
But
from.
I guess maybe
what the fuck, bro? Like-
A Jamaica is from Jamaica, right?
Yes.
An American is from where?
An African American is from Africa and America, but they don't know what part.
And this is why that term is confusing. Is which I hear people just say Black Americans now. If y'all don't question the Caribbeans, then y'all shouldn't question the Americans.
Caribbeans
like.
know where they come from. African Americans don't know.
They
where
do not. They do not. Like, you looking at it from the perspective of you from Africa, and you get why they saying they from Jamaica or whatever. But it's still wrong at the end of the day because we have our own country. Huh? It's not the truth. America is a country.
Yes,
They has culture there. So if I say I'm American from America. That's my culture.
she listen, and again, JV Chanel said her hair is from Korea, her body is from Miami, but she was born in Ghana. I mean, it's crazy, right? She really slow. She is really slow. I mean, just slow. I don't know how else to say it, but think about Black folks in America having to know where they come from in Africa, but nobody else. Nobody in Dominican Republic, nobody from Haiti, nobody from Jamaica, nobody from St. Thomas, St. Croix, Trinidad, and Tobago. Like, none of these folks are ever asked where they're from in Africa. In fact, they don't even claim Africa. The irony of the Caribbean, they don't even claim Africa. They claim the Caribbean, literally. So why is it that Black folks in America who so-called supposedly built this country, why are they having to claim Africa? The whole building America thing is cap. You know why? If Black folks really built America, they would be proud to be Americans. Name me one thing that Black folks supposedly built they aren't proud of. Black folks say they built the pyramids. They're proud of the pyramids. Black folks say they built ancient Kemet. They're proud of ancient Kemet. Like, Black folks are proud of everything they built except America. That doesn't make any sense. Black folks' greatest accomplishment would be building a country. So if it's true that Black folks built America, then why wouldn't they be proud to be American? It doesn't make any sense because it's cap. It's cap. I told you all that the propaganda and programming is to get you Black folks in America to not identify with America because you are the people of influence. So they want the people of influence to be what? To be anti-American, to push this agenda. The only way this global agenda can fully take over is if America falls. So they need the Black folks in America to make sure that America falls. This young lady on this show is disgustingly slow. Disgustingly slow. But the fact that Black folks in America are required to do their research and history of their lineage and nobody else is should be telling right there. Not to mention the unbelievability of the slave trade itself. It's just economically it's just not feasible economically. It'd be a waste of money. Like, it just would. You wouldn't invest all that energy, time, and money to bring folks over here that was malnourished and weak. It just don't make any sense. To me, the whole propaganda behind the slavery narrative, slave ships, and all this stuff is to get Black people to not identify with America. Because if Black folks hate America, then guess what? They will influence the rest of the world to do the same. That is the whole purpose of it. Folks in the Caribbean claim the Caribbean. They don't claim Africa. Just like folks in Africa claim their country. Every other race is allowed to claim their country. Black folks in America are the only ones that are required to disown America or be disowned by America and embrace some fictitious place like Wakanda. Black folks are literally required to reject America and embrace Wakanda. Literally. It's crazy. And again, you have to ask yourselves a question. Why is Hollywood, why is the government, why is the media, why are all these Black intellectuals, why are all these woke people, why is everybody so bent on Black folks being from Africa? Why are they so invested? Who cares? Y'all telling me it's 500 years ago, so why does it matter? I'll tell you why. If they can get Black people to hate America, they can get the world to hate America. And that is the goal. That is the goal. Listen, I love y'all. And I will see you all soon on Tuesday. Want y'all have a blessed day. I love y'all. And thank y'all. Thank you, Agadas Nabi, for not narrating, for hosting. And Blanche, you see that video about an African guy going in on people with flags that aren't the native homeland? People are praising him big time. I haven't seen it. Can you send it to me or tag me in it, please? Thank you. Listen, I love y'all. Thank y'all so much. And y'all are blessed to have been born in America. Believe me. You should thank God every day you're born in America. Listen, I love y'all. I'll see y'all on Tuesday. Thank you.